The topic of our discussion today will be types of precast systems. Most of all, precast concrete construction system has its own characteristics, which influence to layout, span, lengths, construction depths, and in general on stability system to great extent. Precast concrete construction, like majority of structural members, they all of them are manufactured in the special manufacturing plants away from the construction site. Actually, after construction members or structural elements are finished, they are delivered to the project site to be erected. So various connections have been developed to connect different types of structural elements, like beam to beam connection, beam to column connection, column to column connection, panel to panel connection, and so on. So many scientists and developers every time try to find the best way, the simple and durable connection to protect building from the collapses, from the failures, and so on. What else? In connection of the connections of various connections have been developed to connect types of structural elements, and in manner they imposed loads are transferred from superstructure to the foundation. So at the same time, designers should consider the possibilities, restrictions, detailing, manufacturer, transport, erection, serviceability stage. So before finalizing the design, final design of the precast construction. So in order to understand the construction of precast concrete structures, so different precast cast systems shall be known. So there are four major types of precast system, which are classified based on the loads bearing structures. So they are latch panel system, frame systems, slab column system with walls, and the mixed system. So let's start talking about latch panel system. So what is it? So the main features of latch panel system, application forms, and so on. So latch panel systems are useful for construction of apartments and hotels and some other types of the building. So where can be followed the special recommendations and from the architectural solutions actually to create in two ways or sometimes in one way slab system. So they are consist of walls and floor concrete panels connected in the vertical and the horizontal directions. So both horizontal and vertical panels should withstand to the gravity loads. So there are arrangements of latch panels based on wall layers, which include cross-wall system, longitudinal wall system, two-way slabs, and so on. Next one is the frame system. The frame system actually is the linear elements. Most of all are used for frame system. They are suitable for construction of parks, some administrative buildings, offices, and actually for any various types of the systems and various types of the building. Precast beam column sub-assemblages have advantages that connecting faces between the sub-assemblages can be placed away from the critical frame regions. So by other words, whereas linear elements are generally preferred because of the difficulties associated with forming, handling, erecting, and erecting of special elements like beams, columns, rigid elements, pillars, and so on. Lift slab. Lift slab construction is a method of constructing concrete building by the casting the floor or roof slab on top of the previous slab. So, and then raising or jacking it, the slab up with the hydraulic jacks. So this is one of the interesting for understanding type of the system, constructional system, but in the same time one of the difficult. So this method of construction allows a large portion of work to be completed at the ground level. So negating the need form floor in place. So ability to create monolithic slabs make the lift slab construction technique useful in quickly creating structures with a repetitive form of work like parking ramps, underground parking system, and above ground parking systems, and so on. So you see that the construction height can be up to 30-story. So we see that this type of the construction system can be applied for skyscrapers, yes, up to 30 stories, of course. And what about the precast construction techniques? So if we'll separately discuss of each of them, it is erection sequences. So when the precast concrete members shall be erected according to the replanning sequences. So erection plan is commonly prepared drawings. So if it is important for structural stability and for access to connections, the specific location. So erection consequences um, shall avoid multiply handling of the elements. So finally, the trial erection operation should be considered to identify and waiting erection difficulties. Erection safety. So safety during the handling and erection of precast concrete elements substantially important. So therefore all machines, equipment employed precast concrete elements handling and erecting need to be maintained to the sufficiently enough higher standards, load tested, and be suited to intent utilization actually. Next one is erection tolerance. So generally the precast unit should be erected in accordance with tolerance provided by the applicable codes, national normative documentations, unless other tolerance by use the design, specific designs, specific specifications, which are required to answer the question about safety, stability, and long operation. Next one is rigging. So a rigging system is system for handling and erecting precast elements, requires careful and through replaning. It may be necessary to equalize loads between lifting points on certain precast elements, such beams of flat slabs. Temporary bracing. So concrete elements must actually precast concrete elements must be adequately supported, braced, and during all time, all phases of erection to ensure proper alignment and structural integrity until permanent structural connections are completely installed. Next one, leveling shims. So leveling shims should be formed from the sustainable, sufficiently enough durable material and should have adequate strength to carry all imposed loads. So leveling shims carry the full constructional load on the precast elements and must provide adequate support to prevent the movement until the elements are incorporated and in the main structure. And the last one is the propping. So all temporary propping requirements must be shown on the special designed and the special prepared erection drawings. So design of temporary proofing systems should be in accordance to regulative national codes. So temporary propping also should provide full support for all construction loads. And so now I will not talking about equipments I need to erect, for example, precast constructions, but I will show you a little video about how to manufacture it. Can be manufactured some of the precast constructions like the flat slabs and the flat slabs with the holes. So can you see the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So it was a special design and technology for manufacturing the flat slabs with the holes.
No demonstration stuff.
Oh, there were no demonstrations, sorry?
Yes.
Why it was stopped? So as I told you, every time designers try to find the best way, the simple way of creating the durable and sufficiently strength structures which can be used for many-story buildings or high-rise buildings, and in the same time can carry out and can withstand all imposed loads. So in this video, you can see how are manufactured the flat precast slab with the holes inside it. So before there was concreting, the reinforcement was pre-strengthened. So pre-stressing is important part for creating the slabs because it is increase its strength characteristics on bending, and it can increase the length of the slabs without increasing the depth of the slabs. So the openings which are made by the special pipes are decrease the own weight of construction, but not decrease the durability and the strength of it. So the next one, it is manufacturing of the flat slab. So the same technicus, but without any holes inside the slab. So pre-stressing of the reinforcement by using a special pre-stressing tool. So the special table with the vibration tool. So when the fresh concrete is completely in the form, so the vibration are start, and it works like a compaction of the concrete. So the warming of the concrete about the 70 degree through the 7 hour. So the warming is important part for the concrete because it can increase the concrete quality through the less time. So as you see, after the 8 or 7 of hour, the concrete are about 80% of its strength. Next one, interesting technology of construction precast building. But I can say that it's all precast, but it's combined with the monolithic parts. But in what places you will see when you will see this video. So the video is on deconstruction mode. Show it. So-called deconstruction of major structural frame parts. So for right understanding, in the video was accepted the deconstruction method of video. So precast part of the building and the concrete diaphragms. So as I told you, the combined method with the concrete and the precast concrete. Precast stairs, precast columns. So was used about 80% of all construction was prefabricated. So slab to slab connection. For seismical regions, there are designed other constructional methods. Connection are used the special reinforcement. So the column connection, precast column connection joint. And in the seismic zones can be used special connection bars. So they also use the welding to connect it. slab guide joint in the seismic zone, specially designed for the additional reinforcement and then by to filling it with a fresh concrete. Guide column joint, also reinforce it before concreting and then fill it with the concrete. Precast whole core concrete slab formed without formwork. Pre-stressed high strength wires, so pre-stressed reinforcement. Welded reinforcement meshes. For various types of regions, with non-seismical region and the seismical regions. So the major precast concrete structural elements. So look at the advantages of using this constructional method. So higher erection speed, more than or maybe near to 80% of all constructions are prefabricated constructions. So we can decrease the number of concrete per 1 square meter. Also decrease the labor cost of construction on main construction works. So the minimal equipment mechanisms and technological readings are need to construct the such buildings. And the open plan of flats. So that's what about the advantages? Do you have a questions?
No, I have not.
Okay, so let's continue. And the last one. So in this video, we'll see the main processes of construction monolithic or prefabricated buildings. So how the main constructional elements are lifted up by using the crane. So this is the construction stage, construction site. There are 2 or 3 operating cranes, 2 of them located in central part of the buildings and 1 nearby to the building. Most of all constructional elements are delivered by the special tracks, and now we see how reinforcement are delivered to the construction site by the tracks. Then it lifted lifted up by using the steel ropes and so store it on the height of its erection. Then workers are installed in the vertical position the reinforcement bars. Put all of the reinforcement in the project position, check the verticality, check the number of reinforcement, the size of reinforcement, diameter of reinforcement, and so on. So the various size of reinforcement in millimeters are need to increase the height or depth of the horizontal constructions, like, for example, slabs. You see the cross-sectional reinforcement, longitudinal reinforcement. So when the reinforcement are in ready position, so all parameters are checked, the verticality was controlled by special tools. So the special tracks are delivered the formwork. Most of all, for each of the building, designed the special designed formwork with the size and height and with the special nodes of connection and so on for easy and quickly design and installation of formwork on the construction site by using less number of workers and to decrease the labor cost of these processes. So the store can be located like on the construction site, but also out of the construction site. And again, like the reinforcement, the ready to installation formwork are delivered to the construction by the big tracks. Then by tower operating crane lift up it on the height, and the special workers, so installators or special brigades which have a deal with the installation start installed or start by using these special tools. They help to crane operator install it on the reinforcement, on the radial reinforcement. So after the formwork is on place, the rest should be installed supporting elements, so bracing elements. So these bracing elements will keep the formwork in the stable position when the fresh concrete will be accepted by the special concrete pumps. So when the all of the needable formwork are installed and supported by the bracing, actually all of the supporting points should be checked well because if there will be some failures, it can lead to a problem when there will be casting of the concrete. So to avoid any type of the problems, of course, all joints should be checked well. So the checked verticality, horizontality, you see that all formwork standing on the right position according to each other, according to the below located levels.